This is Frank, and it is the top of the hour, and we are going to go ahead and get started with our presentation. We do have two guest speakers today um, who who have provided who have provided me with a short bio, but I can't get out of my screen to go get. Oh, there we go. To go get their bio. Okay, so. One of the speakers today is going to be Jean, and Jean is a wife of 30 years. She's a mom of two adult entrepreneurs. Also, she taught K-12 educator, um, and she is a first generation patriot. She has a master's plus 30 from Boston and Cambridge Ivy Leagues, and have taught for over 30 years in both private and public settings. She has rescinded her teaching license um, a long time ago, she says, and she loves to learn everything we can teach her except computers. She doesn't like computers. Jean, could you tell us a little bit of something about yourself?
I think you kind of said it all, Frank. The only thing I can't say is I'm grateful to be able to include this opportunity in my learning experience of my life. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's good. And our other speaker is our, in my eyes, she is a first class, genuine best accountant on earth because she wants to make sure I get a payday, and you do too. And so with we're going to introduce Virginia. And Virginia has been in accounting and bookkeeping business for over 37 years. She is a former Marine sergeant, dropped down and get me 6 years as a drill instructor. She learned most of what she knows by doing her own business, doing her own due diligence, and finding out information on whatever interested her. So we're going to go ahead and say welcome. Virginia, would you like to say a few things about yourself? Oh, Virginia, you got to unmute yourself. Uh-oh.
How's that?
There you go. That's better. There you go.
I made it. This is only my third time trying to get in. That's not bad.
Well, I said a few nice things about you. Could you say a few things about yourself?
I'm here. I'm alive. And
And you want to make sure everyone gets paid.
That's a good thing too, yes.
All right.
Just going along in life, been doing bookkeeping and accounting for 37 years. I'm a former Marine, and I have been teaching myself for many, many years, doing my own due diligence on many things, and now I'm going forward.
Well, congratulations and thank you for joining the team. And I'm sure that you will be bringing a tremendous asset to the team. And for Jeff's information, I just wanted to say we have a school teacher and we have a drill sergeant. So I'm really looking forward to getting that rattan that I always used to get in school and getting bopped on the head with a swagger stick from the drill sergeant. So,
oh no, I'll just make you do 20. That's it.
All right. Well, then, and if that's the case, then I think that we're in good hands. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to the ladies. And Jeff, if you would monitor the chat box. But today, we're not going to interrupt. What we're going to do is we're going to hold all of the questions until the end. If we have time, then we'll go ahead and we'll address any of the questions. But we have some very, very exciting things to talk about today. We're probably going to blow your mind, but it's okay. You'll get over it. So who shall begin? Shall I go to Jean first?
Well, Jean and I both know. Yeah, okay. Jean and I both know that today we are going to be discussing gold and silver. So We have looked around and read a lot of things, and I think a great gold, silver, and gold backs exchange can offer the flexibility, access, and usage along with the ease of an account debit card. You can invest in buying gold and silver, and it is something that goes along with the economy as far as going up when gold and silver go up, and it's a hedge against inflation and a hedge against a falling currency like the dollar.
So Virginia, we're
Access,
starting, sorry,
that's okay, go ahead.
we're starting today to decide, to describe what is an exchange facility. That's where we need to start because most of these folks probably don't have the awareness that you have with your experience in bookkeeping.
Well, I think we need to
Well,
start a little bit earlier than that. And why would they be interested in hearing about that? What possible reason would they want to know about that stuff? Could it be? Is it possible? Could it be that we might pay in gold and silver? Could that be the reason?
That's an absolute yes to me.
yes, and it works both ways.
Okay.
Anyone that becomes a member of a
Charter
gold
member?
facility exchange, yeah, like a charter member, we can do business back and forth just like you would get on the computer and give them your debit card to pay for something. It works very well. There doesn't seem to be a problem with this, just like you'd use your own debit card. It is your own debit card, but it gives you the financial freedom to pay for things. Anybody else that's in that same gold exchange facility can do the same. They can go back and forth, cross back and forth, paying or just using their debit card to take care of transactions and business both ways.
And it
I think
also
it's a
works
great,
on the street, right?
yes,
Okay, at the grocery store or wherever you buy things normally. It's like a bank debit card because this is, to answer your question, Mr. Alio, this is an alternative but parallel system to what's out there now. A gold exchange facility is not a bank in the sense that we all know and love or hate our banks. It is a
correct.
parallel way to do financing. You put in your USD and it gets exchanged for whatever you choose, gold or silver. It can be held there for you in a vault. It can be sent to you. It can be,
In hand, yes.
yeah, and it could be sent to somebody else also who's also in the community there. So it works a lot like a bank. It's just not regulated like a bank because the Federal Reserve regulates the banks with the fiat currency. And this is obviously not fiat currency. This is precious metals, real money based.
And most of them deal in gold, silver, and gold backs. I don't know if you know what a gold back is. What's a gold back, Jean?
Gold back is something that this facility issues like a fiat. It's a piece of paper with true gold laminated right onto it. So they have it in different denominations, I guess is the bookkeeping word. Dollar bills,
Yes.
$5 bills, $10 bills, whatever amounts they make it in. And they put an equivalent amount of gold laminated right onto the paper in that face value of that amount. So that people can use them as if they were ferns. In fact, some people do use them as if they're ferns. They carry them around in their wallet like we carry dollar bills. And they use them like USDs. They give them to each other for cutting the grass or making the dinner or whatever it is. So this is an exciting opportunity to broaden your experience about how you can fiscally transact. Does that answer your question, Mr. Alio?
Well, yeah, it does. And it sounds like we're talking about an alternative currency and a currency that many people refer to as God's money because gold and silver has always been around, and it will always be around. Currencies and ferns. I thought a fern was a potted plant, but USDs and currencies come and go, and they rise and fall with countries. But gold and silver is forever. And I guess what
Well,
we're saying is that it's the agent's choice, the associate's choice, whether they want to be paid in USD like normally, or if they want to be paid uh, in
Precious metal.
gold and silver. That's what it sounds like.
correct,
Correct.
correct. I think it's a wonderful thing. We're not saying that everybody basically has to put everything in one basket. If folks have a typical bank and they have a checking account and a savings account and a debit card, that can be kept, but still be put parallel along with an exchange facility.
The difference.
Facility.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
The difference
I'm just
is that this facility uses or accesses both USD and precious metals, whereas the banks we all use in this country right now, and in most of the world, only use the government's currency, the USD or the euro or the whatever it is, for the most part. And so there's an advantage by having two options to work with in this facility as compared to only one in traditional banks.
Well, that's because USDs are not redeemable in gold or silver or any commodity and receive no backing by anything. To me, I label it monopoly money because that's what it is.
So how do people get involved in this, I guess, is what I'm thinking about at the moment, in talking with you, Virginia. Can anyone join this community?
Yes, it's open to all. And the first thing that you do is you can submit USDs to open an account. And if someone, for example, a $2,000 investment in this exchange facility, you give them the USDs and you say, I want X amount of this in gold and X amount of this in silver, and I want to purchase gold backs. You break it out along with your deposit that you send in to open an account. And if you are purchasing gold right away or silver right away, it is vaulted and insured. So it's audited. I believe it's audited every 3 months, and it's audited by non-officials of the gold exchange facility. It's audited by mostly the members. So it's easy to become a member. There isn't a whole lot, I would say, of fees or anything else. There are some fees, very little though, very little indeed.
There are fees for the vaulting. If you leave your precious metals there, they store them for you. It's like rent for the storage space. But they can also, if you'd prefer, send you your metals to wherever you determine, your home, your office, and you can have them in your hand and you can vault them wherever you want. There's no fee for that. They just mail them to you.
Starting with something, I would say, I don't know if it's a correct amount or not, but something like a $4,000 gold coin account. The monthly fee for that is $4, and that covers the vaulting, it covers the insurance, and you're good to go.
You would have it available then.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So the advantages to this are that people can be free to use their own money to do whatever they want without regulation or reportability. Because this is, in the state this is offered, they've already legislated it to be legal and lawful.
Correct. Correct. So, I mean, to me, a $4 monthly fee is no larger than most people pay on a typical banking account.
On an
And
ATM
it,
withdrawal?
right. And up to $2,500 in silver, it's $1.40 a month. How can you go wrong with that? And up to 250,000 gold back account, it's free. So
So
that's
you
what
could control the amount of fee that you are paying if just by controlling what medium that you want to invest in.
that's correct.
Gold takes up a
Okay.
lot less space than silver. It's a lot less hefty than silver. So I'm sure silver probably takes up more vault or storage space than gold.
And the good
In
thing
the
about
punch
that,
bowl.
yes. And the good thing about that is I don't know if any of you folks have ever dealt with a coin dealer. If you walk into a coin dealer and you want $1,000 in silver, well, you hand over your $1,000 USDs and you get your silver. And as soon as you walk out of the store and a day later, say you go back and say, something happened to my car or I need this money and I want to cash this in. Well, instead of getting $1,000, you might only get $750 or $800 when you exchange that $1,000 gold coin back. But in a very reputable gold exchange facility, they have what they call a zero buy sell spread in any 30-day period. So if you redeem, you can redeem it by either putting it in a debit card or you can transfer it to the member's bank account. So there is no loss of money. There's no loss of gold value or silver value because it is a zero buy sell spread.
So
And I think
Virginia,
that's wonderful.
so Virginia, it's been my experience that when you buy either gold or silver, there's a market called spot market, and you have to pay a premium above spot when you buy, and then when you turn around and sell, you have to get a premium below spot that they're going to take
That's
it
correct.
back from you. So what
That's
you're
correct.
saying, Virginia, is it's irrelevant if you're going to buy or sell. It's going to be at spot and not a premium above or below. So that is
It,
fantastic.
yes, it's a zero spread. It's a zero buy sell spread. And you can also, like Jean had stated, if you have two gold silvers and three gold coins in your vault, you can call and say, I, there's nothing like having it in your hand. A lot of people like to have those coins in their hand, and that's fine. They will send them to you. Take it off your account. So,
And all of this can be had if we just take our easy financial paychecks and have it direct deposited into your gold exchange account. Is that correct?
yes, yep, that's correct.
Okay. So remember, when you're out there making those $10,000 and $5,000 commissions, because you're doing the 100K programs or real estate programs, when you get those big commission paydays, if you don't need the money immediately for whatever is coming up in your life, you could always,
Well, you only need some of that commission to pay Frank.
so you could take you could take that money in the form of gold and silver, and then when you do
Correct.
need it, of course, what Virginia is explaining is there'll be a debit card attached to it that you can use like the debit card you use right now today. Exactly the
That's
same.
correct. Yep,
This is a great
they're exactly
opportunity.
the same.
So, Mr. Allen, how are you thinking this is going to fit into Easy Financial? I think that's what folks need to hear because, I mean, I've had an account here for a long time. But Easy Financial is pretty new to me. Only a couple months now I've been with you.
And so the way I see that is that when people make their transactions, not just the $100 commissions, but we're talking about the $500 and $1,000 and the $1,500 commissions. When they do our bread and butter business, that's what our bread and butter business is. They can either ask Virginia to pay them in USD, just write a check or do a direct deposit into their existing bank account, or they could say, Virginia, I would like half of it in my regular bank account, and I'd like you to put half of it in the exchange. And then that way there, they could be building a hedge against inflation, and they could be
Absolutely.
building a hedge against the impending. A lot of people, a lot of economists are saying that the USD is going to take a nosedive. And if there is a hyperinflation and you have God's money, real gold, real silver, you are going to take a huge hedge against that deflation or inflation.
Well, it's an insurance policy against it, against the geopolitical and financial market instability or declining economy. And we all know when the value of the USD goes down, what do you think goes up?
Gold,
The gold,
obviously,
the
every
silver.
time, every time. That's when gold spikes. When times are tough, that's when gold and silver spikes. And of course, silver is also a commercial material or metal, and it's used in cell phones and batteries, in all kinds of electrical devices. So the demand for silver is ongoing. It doesn't matter what the economy is like. Silver is always going to be in demand. And I would think that
Well,
if you have silver, it would always go up.
yes, yes. And it's kind of like a safe haven investment, and it's protected very well. Um, I I can't. I've been looking for things that are wrong with it, but I haven't found one yet. So I'm um, thinking about it very highly, and I think whatever I can budget to put into something like this, I'm going to do it. And a gold and silver exchange facility, you might start out with, say, $2,000 and you split it up. But when the value of the gold and silver go up, so does your account in the exchange facility. So I
So,
think it's better than.
Mr.
Go
Alio,
ahead.
will this be something that the charter members will be asked to participate in your vision?
Um, the way I see it, I think that it should be a voluntary thing. I think that
Okay.
if they would like to do it, and I wouldn't say, I mean, Virginia has already said that anyone can do it. So I don't know whether even if there is a standard agent or a pro agent or a charter member, I think it should be open for everyone to just have that choice. And maybe when they know that a commission is coming, they can just notify um, Virginia of how much they want to split, if they want to split anything at all, put it
Okay.
all in,
Correct.
put it all into the exchange, take it all in their personal account, or split it 50-50, whatever they want to do. I think we ought to let them have the opportunity to do whatever.
You can always have it all by having the exchange account, like I said, alongside what we call a regular bank with savings and checking accounts and ATM cards and debit cards and credit cards and all that. You don't have to do away with that. This is just in conjunction with what you already have in your life set up.
And Virginia, I know you've said a couple times now, I've been listening, you said if you put 2,000 in, but I need to tell you, Mr. Alio, you don't have to start with 2,000. You can start with a minimal amount, $100, $50, whatever it
Yep.
is, to just start to grow your account.
Absolutely.
You don't have to start at 2,000 because right now 2,000 is the cost, give or take, of 1 ounce of gold. But they don't go by that. They go by however much USD you have to put in. They issue you an equal amount in the silver or gold that you want.
Correct.
So that's called fractional. It's not fractional reserve, but that's fractional purchasing.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
so I've already when we wrote up this week's agenda, I've already gone ahead and opened up my personal account with that company, with that organization. So I'm ready. I'm ready for when the transactions take place. I'm ready to go ahead and put it in. I mean, let Virginia make the direct deposit directly into my account with the exchange.
Okay, Virginia, do you have anything else you want to say? Because I'm going to suggest, looking at the time, that we open it up to, Jeff has been sitting by patiently logging questions and see where he is. It's 4:28, it's 4:30 now.
Oh my God, time flies when you're making money, huh? Okay.
Mr. Alio, is that okay? We take
Yes.
questions from Jeff?
That would be fine, Jeff. If you have any, let me just let everyone know that now apparently we are at the end of the half hour. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them into the chat box right now. And Jeff, if you have any questions in the chat box, this would be a great time to start reading some of them.
Well, I have two questions in there, and one of them is mine. Where is this exchange located at?
In the United States.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes, it's in the United States.
And one question on here said, could you tell me about the tax advantages?
Ah, what a great question. For that, I'm going to have to send that over to Virginia. What are the ramifications, and how can we be a little naughty and maybe not have to pay as much tax as we normally would?
Well, you don't have to pay taxes on the gold and silver or gold backs. It's not like a Bitcoin. Someone buys a Bitcoin for $500 and maybe a year later it's worth, I don't know, $10,000, $11,000, and you say, I'm going to go buy a car. So they take their Bitcoin that is now worth $11,000 and they buy their car. Well, they need to pay capital gains tax on $10,000 of it, because if he started out with $1,000 Bitcoin and it grew to 11 minus the 1,000 leaves $10,000. That is 30% capital gain taxable. There's no such thing in this facility.
So what a wonderful way to take a paycheck. Tell me a little bit about how it would affect our paycheck.
It would be, first of all, I have to ask whose paycheck?
Okay, not
There is
mine,
no
Jeff.
There's no payroll.
There is no payroll in these gold facilities.
Okay,
Your money
so
goes into the account and it comes out of the account at your discretion.
and there's no government agencies looking over your shoulder.
No, sir.
That sounds like music to my ears.
Are you intending to have employees, Mr. Alio, that you need to report?
No, I'm not going to be reporting any employees, but some of my charter members may have employees.
Correct.
Some of my charter members may make, say, a $10,000 commission on a transaction that they've done, and I'm just wondering first of all, do they have to report it, and if they do, how does it affect them?
Well, it would only be reported on someone that owns their own company as a charter member, and they receive commission from someone other than their own people in their own company. They can deposit that either in their own bank account or in the gold exchange facility. It doesn't really matter. It depends on if that person that issued the commission to the head of the charter member gets a 1099. A 1099 is not payroll.
So it's between
1099
Mr. Alio and the charter members? Is that
No,
what you're saying?
it's between the charter member
Yep.
that makes a deal with someone else, with a
Oh,
bank, or they get a client of theirs funded, and they make a commission off being successful for that funding. They receive a commission. Well, the commission doesn't come from Easy Financial.
right.
The commission doesn't come from their own company. The commission comes from like a First Merchant Bank or something. I don't know where it would come from. Whoever finalized the deal.
That lender.
That lender, correct.
Okay.
So it would be the lender, not payroll, but a 1099. A 1099 is you're an independent. So if you need to file that 1099 within your business of these people that have started their own business, well, that's the time that it becomes, you have to figure the tax on that with any other income that you may have on a regular tax return. But you can withdraw from the gold exchange to pay those taxes if you like, or you can take them out of your regular banking, savings, checking account that everybody has and pay those taxes if you receive a 1099.
And you determine that you need to pay the taxes on it, depending on your situation.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that first part, Jean?
And depending if you determine for yourself that you have to pay some taxes, depending on your own setup, your own situation.
Correct.
Okay.
Anything else, folks?
There's one up here, and it says, what is the gold and silver bullion tax and the IRS reporting rules?
What I understand right now, Jeff, is that the federal legislators are trying to write legislation that will never allow for people to have to pay tax on precious metal exchange stuff. Right now, I think that there are, if you buy over a certain amount, there might be some regulation or some percentage or fee or VIG or something. I don't know the exact regulation, but I know that the senators are pushing for legislation that will allow people to use gold and silver freely.
Correct.
The IRS is no longer, with the Fed having been put into the United States Treasury, the fiat, as Virginia said, is dying. It's on its way out. So anybody who's worried about that, just carefully watch the news, because I think you're going to see that when the fiat goes away, the Fed goes away, the IRS is going away. It's all based on a fiat currency, on the USD, based on nothing. Thank
Correct.
you. I yield.
If I understand this question right, they want to know if both of you will be available in the future if you're needed.
I've committed to Mr. Alio for at least a year to be his office manager. I'll be around.
And I'll stick around and still count beans.
Did that answer your question, David? I'm waiting for him to type it in. He's on the phone.
Okay.
Oh, yes, he said that answered his question. I don't have any more questions.
Mr. Alio, do you have any questions that we haven't maybe covered with this? I know it's a brandy new idea.
No, it absolutely correct. It is a brand new idea. It's very, very hard to wrap your head around that you can be paid with gold and silver. You can experience tremendous gains and not have to pay taxes. That tax part, I knew that was going to get everyone's attention, that tax part. But if you can use a currency, well, God's currency, if you can use God's currency and not have to pay taxes on it, my, that's a game changer. And I mean,
Well, no, you don't. If I can interrupt, you don't pay the taxes on the precious metals. You don't pay the tax on the gold and silver and gold backs. What you might pay taxes on, like I had described before, is if anything comes down as a commission. Now you have those USDs in your hand, and you want to do something else with them. I can't rightly say that you won't be taxed on the commission if there's a 1099 issue, but if you haven it away into an exchange facility, there's no taxes forthright from that exchange facility. You understand that?
I understand.
Okay.
So I got a question. If I bring a customer into Easy Financial and we do some funding and
Right.
I earn a commission of $1,000
Right?
and I want it all in gold and I have an account already set up, am I paying taxes on that $1,000 in the future sometime? Or is it going straight into the gold and I pay no taxes?
I think I heard Virginia say it depends on what the lender of that transaction that you did with your client, Jeff, what the status is, what they do to you, for you, around you.
Well, I haven't seen
No.
any of the banks or hedge funds that we work with. I've never seen any of them issue a 1099.
There
Basically,
you go.
Wow.
so
So it all goes into the exchange, and it's havened.
So is
the whole
Easy
name-
Financial?
the whole
Easy.
name is tax haven, but okay, haven. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
Does that mean finance agents and or Easy Financial are doing a 1099 on me depending on where the deal was done?
I know you.
No,
Go ahead. You answer, Virginia. You're much more qualified.
it wouldn't be Easy Financial or a standard agent or a pro agent. It would be the one that made the deal successful, such as a bank, a
Lender.
lending institution, a lender, right?
I call
So
them
that
lender vendors.
If that lender says to someone like you, Jeff, yep, your deal went through, that person got approved, and your commission it'll come from the lender to the person that earned that commission.
To you. Mr. Alio just said that the places he works with, he's not seen a 1099 before. Who knows what tomorrow brings, but right now this is a haven, as Virginia says.
It is indeed.
It's just easier than going to Switzerland.
And if any time you want to close the account and have it all sent to you in USD, that's fine. If you want to liquidate or transfer one coin into USD, that's fine. They'll send it to you. Or if you want the actual coin itself sent to you, that's fine also. But it has no bearing on the IRS looking over your shoulder when you take some of that money and transact on, not the money, but transact on the precious metals.
Well, this has been a very, very deep subject, and I don't want to dig down too deep because we're going to have to make a disclaimer that we are not giving out legal advice. We're not giving out tax advice. We're
Thank you.
That's correct.
investing advice. That is, we're just giving you an opportunity to use a vehicle, whether you take that opportunity or not is we're leaving it 1,000% up to you. And so all this is an alternative source of currency that we're making available to you. How you use it is up to you, and we're not giving any advice how to use it. It's totally up to you.
Well,
And this is just a brief touch on it. That's all. When the time is right, and people need to sit down, and they want to get serious, then we'll open it up. But
is
until
that
then,
okay, Mr. Alio?
Yep, that's fine.
We've presented enough today for your
Yep.
satisfaction?
I'm very satisfied with what I've heard. I understand that you can get either cash or gold, whichever one you want. I understand that you can use it the way, however you want to use it. But it is the end of, it's now 4:43, so we've gone way over the half hour. And I want to thank everyone. First of all, I want to thank my two speakers. I found it very interesting and intensive, interesting. And I want to thank both.
That was the purpose. Hopefully everybody's sitting there with their tongues hanging out, thinking about it.
Okay. Well then, with that, I'm going to say thank you, Virginia. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Jeff, for being the moderator every week. We really appreciate you. And most of all, thank everyone that attended. We love you. This is the completion of the course. You will be contacted by Jean, and we will be setting up interviews to make certain offers to each one of you. So we thank you, and you have a great rest of the week.
Ta-ta.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Woo, making noise.
Yeah, I know about the
Making noise.
I forgot about the making noise.
Yeah.
I didn't have
There's
my
nothing
bell
else.
ready.
This is
Okay, let's
definitely
make
the day
some
we
noise.
need.
All right.